From inside the gym at Ayer Shirley Regional High School, we welcome you to another edition of High School Volleyball here on RFM. Alongside Kate Robbins, Todd Robbins for Rivalry Family Media, and great to have you on day one of 2 for high school volleyball here this week. It's Ayer Shirley playing host to Leominster on a Monday, followed by Ayer Shirley traveling to Leominster on a Wednesday. It's 2-for-1 volleyball week here on RFM, and great to have you along with us. Kate Robbins, Todd Robbins here for RFM. Bill Thomas on assignment. He'll be back with us on Wednesday, and we're looking forward to have him here. Kate, here we go. We're off and running with more high school volleyball. Leominster last week had a rough go of it. Didn't find the way to the victory they were looking for in that matchup where they were playing Hudson. Certainly thought there were opportunities in both of those games where they maybe could have pulled ahead, got themselves a game or two, weren't ultimately able to do it in either game. So they're going to come into this week with a 1-3 overall record. Meanwhile, Ayer Shirley, a 1-2 overall record, losing 3-0 in their first 2 matches against Groton Dunstable, and then winning a tight one over Mid-Wach in their most recent matchup, a 3-2 victory there. Now they've got the back-to-backs with Leominster this week, and here we go. For Leominster, it's a case of when they show up, they play well, they serve well, particularly on the top end of their service line. When they've been able to do that, they've been able to produce points in bunches.
Their service has been fairly exceptional, especially their first few servers. To mention, once again, Hudson, I was incredibly impressed with their front row play, particularly their outside hitting last week. And so I'm looking to find Leominster to be able to take a look at what Ayer Shirley is bringing to them and try to find a weakness. Similarly, we haven't seen Ayer Shirley yet this season. We have the added benefit, the added bonus of getting to see them 2 times this week. So similarly, you want to be able to have your team dissect what's going on the other side of the court and try to find that weakness and then exploit it. The thing about Leominster that I've noticed is that one of the things that you saw on display from Hudson, you saw a lot of tactical, not just preparation, but a lot of tactical awareness. They were really trying to target their outside hitters, particularly that outside left-handed hitter, because she was so exceptional and she was that southpaw. What you're not necessarily seeing from Leominster is that, that cohesive, really succinct bump, set, spike. You're basically seeing, okay, 3 hits and then we got to get it over, and on the 3rd hit, let's try to make sure that we're spiking it. I'm looking to see them kind of develop here in the second half of the season to really try to develop that cohesiveness, especially trying to get those outside hitters involved with good, really pinpoint accuracy setting.
Central Mass Pod 5 tends to split just about right down the middle. There's 4 on the top that are very closely bunched, and then 4 on the other side who are also very closely bunched. Maybe a chance for a Pod 6 to come out of this group as well. Groton Dunstable's 4-0 coming into the week. Hudson 5-1. South Lancaster Academy 2-1. North Middlesex has got the split 2-2 overall. Ayer Shirley with the 1-2 record. Leominster 1-3. Mid-Wach 1-4. Fitchburg winless in their first 3 outings here in pod number 5. That's the split that you're looking at across this pod at this moment in time. And I mean, Kate, when you look at it right now, Leominster has played kind of the only one team in that top half. Right now, you're looking at Leominster and Ayer Shirley. They're jockeying for that middle position, setting themselves up somewhere down the road. You're only a couple of weeks away from talking about pod playoff.
And that's one of the interesting things. We talked about it quite a bit in the basketball series that we saw, Leominster versus Fitchburg, and kind of their road to the pod playoff, if you will, and just how important it is to make sure that you're hitting your stride, number one, at the end of the regular season, but also your opponents become increasingly important. Leominster in the girls' basketball season had played one side of the pod versus the other side at the end, and they were really well prepared for their playoff run, for their pod playoff run, whereas Fitchburg had the exact opposite schedule, and they had the easier go of it toward the end of their season, so they kind of had this letdown going into the pod playoff. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Leominster responds to the beginning of their season, especially knowing that they have the vast majority of the mountain ahead of them to be able to get prepared for, if there is a pod playoff opportunity. It's going to be very interesting to see how they respond to these first 2 weeks.
And there certainly will be plenty of opportunities for that response to come. Leominster will look to get things started. As you can see on our split screen out on the floor, Ayer Shirley going through their warm-up period, just about 2 minutes left on that. Then we'll have Leominster and Ayer Shirley for you right here on Rivalry Family Media. We say a very good afternoon and early evening to everyone as they start to arrive home. This 5:15, a slightly earlier start time than we've had over the last so many matchups, so we're expecting a late arriving crowd joining us via Facebook Live. It's Facebook Live here for Rivalry Family Media, facebook.com/Media Rivalry for the live premiere coverage. Later on YouTube, you can search it out at Rivalry Family Media on YouTube for the games available on demand. As the teams get set, Kate, out on the floor, they've gone to their respective benches. A slightly different layout here at Ayer Shirley, taking advantage of their space.
This.
I like this kind of diagonal control situation, like neutral corners. So Leominster's on the far side of the floor, and Ayer Shirley on the near side of the floor in the near corner.
You know what I love about this venue is the clerestory window setup that they have here. I mean, you know as well as anybody, I don't know that the general public knows, I am a sucker for a good clerestory window, and we are enveloped 360 degrees by massive clerestory windows in this gymnasium. I'm in my element. I'm happy to be here.
No question about it. It's a fantastic little bandbox of a gymnasium.
It is exciting. It's just exciting to see, you know, different venues from time to time.
I was going to say,
we don't get to see that very often.
Be it that we've spent so much time in one location or two locations throughout this fall, then winter, and then now into the fall two / you could call it spring season as well. In any case, now an opportunity to finally start to spread back out a little bit as we welcome some folks joining us here on Rivalry Family Media. It's Leominster and Ayer Shirley set for game one here in the first set. The whistle to begin play, and the first serve is underway. And it's long of the back line. So first service comes and goes for Ayer Shirley, and it's a Leominster point right off the bat. Shayla Wynn on serve for Leominster.
She's directing traffic already. She is the undisputed leader of this team.
And she hammers one right over the center of the net, dug out by Calgren, and right into the net. Leominster with a quick 2-0 lead.
Her serve, there's a reason why she's the first server for Leominster. When she is on, she is pretty darn impressive.
Rips another one down the middle of the floor. Dug out again by Calgren. Played on by O'Stryker. And back over the net it goes. Now Wynn sets to the outside. Meza tries the kill, not able to do it, and a whistle. Double hit called on a single player for Ayer Shirley. Third point for Leominster, out to the quick 3-zip lead.
And this is what you want if you are the Leominster coaching staff here. We didn't see this type of rhythm right off the shoot in the matchup last week.
Wynn with the ace. Going right after Calgren, Kate. Clearly she's found something in the middle of the floor.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we've been looking for, is to see these people try to dissect what it is on that defensive end that they're matching up against. And right now, as you said, she's got her eye on a certain spot in that floor.
Coach Phil Brown immediately makes a change, and it's another ace ripped for Wynn. Targets this time the outside at Town. Coach Phil Brown, Kate, actually made an adjustment there. She brought her libero in to replace Calgren, a digging specialist
defensive specialist,
in the middle of the floor.
Yeah, especially when you have difficult service, you need to have that defensive specialist in the back row. Otherwise, you're going to get on a run here. They're going to need to get a timeout probably in the next point or so.
With the 5-0 lead, ripped to the back line again, dug out. Hood makes the save, not able to clear it over the net. It was Kaipel with the last-ditch opportunity to try to pop it over, and Leominster's out to a quick 6-zip lead here in the first set.
Ayer Shirley the Panthers right now looking for some defense from their back row.
And Nygren.
Or an unforced error, they'll take that too.
Right into the net, tried to rip it a little too tight, was just trying to clear the tape, and wanted that low descending ball crossing the net, and she caught the net in the process. So Ayer Shirley on the board, second server steps back. This is Grace Audette. And a whistle call.
And Leominster's been having this bugaboo this season where they're basically, I almost said they're pre-snap motion, but their pre-serve setups have they've had some procedure errors.
And so that's cost Leominster an ace. So another point awarded to Ayer Shirley. Win the set. Kill opportunity for Perez. Soto finds the floor. Ayer Shirley had the opportunity to try to control it, and they weren't able to keep it up off the floor.
This is interesting because you have benches on the opposite sides of the gymnasium. You have one of the officials having to make substitutions from one side and another official having to make them from the other.
And Meza steps back for her first serve, and she's got herself a deflection and an ace off of Allie Hood.
Luckily, you have a veteran official in Kyle Westcott on the opposite side of the floor. He can certainly handle bringing in substitutions from the high chair up there.
And here comes Meza over the net. Dug out by Audette. Back over for Leominster. This is Broomfield. Swung over by Meza. Now set from the outside by O'Striker. They bring it over the net. Off the hands of Kaipel. Yes, indeed. Broomfield pops it back over, but it's going to be wide of the line.
And that's one of those things sometimes when things go off the rails for Leominster, they have those errant hits with the side out. Give the ball back.
This is Kaipel. Lily Kaipel back to serve, and she's got an ace right inside the back line. Leominster's lead cut in half as Ayer Shirley starts to charge.
That's the thing about this sport. It's so much based on momentum.
Kaipel comes outside this time and wide of the line.
And then that momentum can swing right back in the other direction.
I was going to say, as fast as it goes one
Before
way,
you
it
know
seems to drift back the other. So Angelina Broomfield, the libero for Leominster, will step back for service.
I believe she was the one Leominster Athletics did their athlete spotlight on her this week.
Indeed. And she's got herself an ace quickly out onto the floor.
If you're looking for something to read, the wordsmithing of Chris Kine.
I think it's fair to call him Leominster High School Athletics Sports Information Director, Chris Kine.
That's fair to
he would
say.
accept the SID title.
The SID. We got to put that on his email signature block.
Broomfield over the net, dug out by
Nice
Hood.
save.
Yes, kept alive there. That was O'Striker. Wynn sets in the middle of the floor. Looking for the finish. Leominster couldn't get the kill off of Sanchez.
Leominster getting tangled up into that net there. So Ayer Shirley going to be the beneficiary of that point. Back on service yet again. That was a nice volley, though, on both sides. A nice save by Ayer Shirley there to keep it alive.
And Allie Hood goes on service. Hammers one over the middle of the floor, and Broomfield could have let it go, and she instinctively played it over her shoulder.
Interestingly, a rare miss by the Leominster bench. Normally, they're incredibly vocal under normal circumstances, and that was an instance where they were very quiet, and Broomfield needed the help in the back row.
Hood now goes short of Broomfield, who has to dive to keep it alive. Audette tried to angle it over on the second hit, caught the net. To the floor, point and service goes back to Leominster as Ashley Perez Soto will go on service. Looks right down the middle of the floor. Front corner dug out there by Town.
Side out.
Indeed, wide of the line, point for Leominster. They've doubled up again at 12-6 here in the first set. And Coach Philip Brown has decided this is the time, Kate, to take the timeout.
And I think that's probably wise right now. You don't want this one to get out of hand. Right now, you were able to kind of dissipate the lead a little bit, come back. But right now, you're not seeing, like I said, there's not a lot of consistency on either side. Leominster, not always taking advantage, especially on their serves. But right now, Ayer Shirley kind of seeming a little bit hectic, especially on defense. So I think a wise decision by the coaching staff to just take a moment, talk things out, work on your fundamentals, make sure, especially in that back row when you have that service, you want to get that first really solid bump in the back row because that's what's going to set up the other two hits. So you need to have that be controlled defense against what we've seen to be some pretty good service today for Leominster, a little bit more consistent than we saw against Hudson last week. So I think a wise timeout here and just, settle things down, take a moment.
I think it's a really astute point on your part as well, because I think both teams, as they've had to make their first play on the ball coming over off service, the ball's either been short of them or long of them. They're just not setting their depth at the right location as of yet.
And it's not easy. It certainly isn't easy. You have to make these split-second decisions in the back row.
Perez Soto, popped by Hood.
See, that's much better.
The kill opportunity and the block for Wynn at the net. There's also a feature, Kate, if we're gonna name check and call them out. Shayla Wynn also had an article that was tweeted out.
Oh, did she? I didn't see that this
She
week.
did. This was Worcester Telegram, I believe.
Oh, she got the big ink.
Indeed, she got the big
big
ink, indeed. Paper of record. Little tip over there. Nice touch on the play. That was Calgren. Now Sanchez swings it over. Hood volleys right back.
Nice, beautiful back row play. Nice
Win
set
with the set.
by Nguyen.
Sanchez kill attempt into the tape. 4 hits called against Leominster.
So the only thing missing there was that final kill. Beautiful back row play by Broomfield. A beautiful set by Nguyen. Now you're just needing that final hit to get things moving. Seen a lot more cohesion this week than we did last week against Hudson.
First serve for Striker is an ace. And Ayer Shirley has cut the lead, Kate. In football terminology, you would say they've changed field position here. They certainly appear to have taken the momentum here, and they are slowly and steadily cutting in. They're over halfway now, working their way back into the match.
And that's the thing about this game. You can kind of chip away. Oh, another. We're having some rotation issues.
And the rotation issues from last week's match against Hudson continue.
Yeah, they have to stay in that order in the front row. So
Veteran leader and chair official Kyle Westcott sets him in order and does a little educating too.
Yep.
See a teacher there?
I do.
And the dump for Wynn with the kill.
I certainly do. I've always been very impressed by him. He teaches math, correct?
I believe he does, yes.
Yeah. He's always got it together.
Those math teachers.
Always got it together.
Just so.
I love it. And that is absolutely a compliment.
Absolutely.
Absolutely a compliment.
That's short of the net. That was Hannah Collier on serve for Leominster. Well, there are many things, Kate, that I'm willing to tutor and assist students with in addition to my day job. Math is not it, however. That would be some form of malpractice in the education environment. I stay wide of that.
As you should.
Leominster reclaims the 15-9 lead.
Interesting to see Omosa in the back row for service.
Yes. First time I think we've seen. She brings the hammer down the right line. And then a dig and then a step back there. Audette was able to make the dig, and then it kind of landed in the triangle.
So when things tend to go off the rails, this is when communication becomes an issue, and that's what we're seeing right now on Ayer Shirley's side of the ball. They can clean that up pretty quickly, though.
And they did, sending it right back over. That was Striker that was able to swing it back over.
What a great name that is.
Indeed.
Especially in this sport. Awesome name.
The lead is 6. Town with the service. Dug out by Brown and has to go over off of Collier, and it does.
What a save.
And the block. Right back over it goes. Win the set. Meza tried the kill. Kept alive. Collier with the bump. Right back over and blocked down by Wynn. And Leominster will win the sustained volley.
And we're back to Nguyen for the serve. So Leominster's done their full rotation. Their #1 server back at it. And I believe she had about 6 or 7 points in a row to start off this particular set. So it's going to be interesting. Right now, Ayer Shirley needs to either have an unforced error by Nguyen, or they need to play some spectacular defense to get the serve back.
She'll send it right down the middle. Popped up by Calgren. And the kill!
What they wanted.
That was Hood, Allie Hood from the outside. Front row left with the kill.
There's nothing better. There's no better feeling if you're playing defense and you know that the #1 server has rotated back around and you keep them to a single serve and you get that point and you get the service back. Nothing better than that feeling.
And this is Audette on serve. Sent back and forth right at the net. Wynn with the dump to the middle of the floor. She had to reach back over her head to find that kick.
Yes, that had some authority behind it.
Moving some personnel around, stepping back on serve. This is Felicia Meza for Leominster. Sends it over the middle. Calgren bumps it up. Then Striker. Kill attempt for Kaipel is wide of the line. And Leominster pulls themselves within sight of the 20 mark. +8 here in the first set. Meza's second opportunity. Pop by Hood. Kill attempt by Capel. And Leominster's not able to respond. Right back it goes to the Panthers.
And when that second hit gets kind of just like, it kind of just levitates toward the net, it's such an awkward angle to try to save that ball. All you can really do is kind of tip it. It's the best that you can hope for in that situation, to be able to live to fight another day. Or live to fight another volley, as it were.
Absolutely. And this is Quintero on her first serve opportunity. Wynn sends it right back. Popped up by Audette. Kill opportunity for Calgren. Finds the floor. Middle of the front row. Got back to about that 6 mark, which is right about where Wynn had set Leominster up with that 6-0 run to open the game. Panthers have not closed the gap closer than the 6.
So without that 6, though, this is a very evenly matched.
And now they're at 5.
Very evenly matched.
Yet another ace for Camila Quintero. And Quintero tries to find her mark. Goes outside right, and it's wide of the line. Ball back to Leominster as they enter the 20 mark. Angelina Broomfield goes back 5 points away from closing out the first set. And that one's in the net.
That's a tough feeling.
When you could see light, perhaps toward the end of the game, and not able to respond. This is Hood. And Hood is wide of the line.
Once again, the last 2 servers on each side.
Just unforced error, back and forth.
Back and forth. But the score continues to add up.
That hit a support, Kate, above the above the floor.
But as long as it can hit up there, and it's still a playable ball, unless it hits the ceiling and then goes over the net. So if it hits the ceiling on your side and stays on your side, it's still a playable ball.
Perez Soto, the arcer to the middle of the floor. Dug out by Quintero, and not able to clear the net are the Panthers. So Leominster now within 2 of closing out the first set, 23-15.
You're bringing back my rules knowledge from 20 years ago.
I appreciate that. That was well
I'm
done.
having to dig deep for this today.
That's what makes you chief analyst
Chief.
of volleyball.
Okay,
and Perez Soto catches the tape. Point and possession goes back to the Panthers.
If we're laying this on my shoulders, we got problems.
I'll take chief analyst roles high side and never. You and Billy split those jobs up. Play-by-play all the way. Win for Amosa. Tried the kill. Short of the net.
Stays alive.
Indeed they are. And Kate, they're creeping up on the 20 mark.
And this is where things start to get a little uncomfortable if you're Leominster. You're not able to close things out on your own right away.
Oh, Striker got it over. Win popped the middle of the floor. Town punches it up. Now Audette blocks back. Amosa looks for the kill. Wide of the line. 23-18, race to 25, got to win by 2 in the first 4 of the sets. In the 5th, it would just be a race to 15. The set by Win, kill opportunity, sent right back,
Oh, that's
tipped
the tip.
along.
That tip is deadly when you're able to split that front row and that back row and you find that no man's land in between the two. Very difficult to defend, and I think a very wise decision by Coach Antonetti from Leominster to take the timeout here, because right now Ayer Shirley is in the driver's seat and they are absolutely nipping at Leominster's heels, and Leominster's offense has not been able to do much. Their serves, the last 2 servers have kind of stalled for them, and right now Ayer Shirley is just, they're surging.
In a 4-point game at this point, first of 5 sets. And Ayer Shirley really probably establishing their best control, Kate, of this entire first set time period. Able to string together a number of points. Seems like they're responding well on defense, and maybe more than that. Leominster with a lot of self-inflicted wounds, not able to get the ball back over.
And there is that right now. I mean, Ayer Shirley is playing true fundamental volleyball, and they're communicating, and like you said, they have fewer unforced errors than Leominster right now, and you're seeing this surge. Leominster needs to just, take a minute, compose themselves. This serve is something else.
And it makes it over the net again on the hand of O'Striker.
Nice save.
Tipped along. Kill opportunity kept alive. And into the net by Town.
I will say, seeing Nguyen, especially her front row play, she is a magician as to the types of things that she is able to get to.
Josette Sanchez, the senior, goes back on serve. Leominster within one of closing this one out. Kept alive by O'Striker.
Communication issue right there.
And Nguyen tried the dump, kept alive by Hood. Spike attempt, and then the block. Town tried to finish it. Nguyen with the block. Leominster picks up its 25th point and closes out the first set. 25-19 for Leominster to take the 1-0 lead in the match. As we welcome you back up here high above courtside here inside the gym at Ayer Shirley Regional High School, and great to have you along with us. Notice people starting to get home from work, starting to tune in, come looking for their favorite Blue Devil.
Make sure that you guys let us know
Panther.
who your favorite is. We like participatory Facebook Live,
Absolutely.
commentary. As long as you don't, tell us we look terrible on camera, then I'll just cry about it. But other than that, we don't mind. Give a shout out to some of the student athletes.
Cheer on your favorite.
Heckle the officials. We do it too.
That's right. Only in this case because we know
both of them. Yes, we let them know the heckling might actually happen. But no, everybody's doing a great job. Nice to see Leominster rebound a little bit from what we saw last week, and I've actually been very impressed by what we've seen out of Ayer Shirley. Like I said, they're not doing anything overly fancy. This is, this is fundamental volleyball that we're seeing from them, but their communication has been fairly strong. Their defense, especially with some of Leominster's serves, has been exceptional. They haven't made too many unforced errors, and it's just that tried and true, simple, fundamental volleyball. They don't have a lot of tricks up their sleeve, but what they're doing pretty darn well, and I've been very impressed.
Now, you mentioned, of course, these clerestory windows here inside the gym at Ayer Shirley.
Yes.
This is not often in an indoor sport we have to talk about sun angle.
Yeah.
But, of course, with no rotation, with teams not changing sides of the floor as one of the COVID protocols, that means Ayer Shirley is going to be looking in the direction of those clerestory windows the entirety of the match. Now, the ball does a pretty good job of contrasting. It's not just the plain white ones that you might have been used to, say, 15 or 20 years ago. But, they're colorful. They're red, white, and blue in this particular case. But does that make any kind of a difference that you're going to be looking into this sun shining glass? And, of course, the glare comes across the floor at you.
I would have to be out there. It very well may on it's a pretty sunny day. But if you get a really low sun, I'm going to be interested as the sun continues to dip if it has more of an effect. Right now, it just has a brightening effect on this side of the court. And like you said, the student athletes for Ayer Shirley, they are having to look at it, but it's not like they're having to look into it. I think that would be a bit different. But it's going to be interesting to see if that changes as the sun continues to dip here. Oh, and here we have some participation.
We appreciate that.
There we go. Thanks, friends. We got shout-outs for Kaylee and Allie Hood. Somebody saying go Panthers, so we have some Ayer Shirley fans on RFM today. We love that. Love
Absolutely.
to see fans from both sides, so that's fantastic.
I was going to say, the volleyball fans have been a little more, docile maybe is the word, compared to the basketball fans.
Well, the basketball fans are used to us. We're still a brand new commodity.
We're a new commodity, certainly,
right.
for the volleyball fans out there.
So they're tentative and they've been very demure. That's okay. And I told you, volleyball's a different vibe.
We do, but we welcome full-on participation. We love the second screen experience. As Nguyen has the first serve of the second set, rip into the tape. Ayer Shirley is on the board, and once again, they've cleared Leominster's #1 server with just the one bite at the apple.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you want. That's how you want to start off a match.
Broomfield digs this one out, win the set. Stanton tried the finish. And it finds the floor. It kind of plinkoed its way through the crowd, trying to ultimately keep it alive on the Panther side.
We have a lot of Panther fans out there. This is fun to see.
Absolutely.
Sorry, I'm doing Facebook Live and the score and the camera today. So
Bill Thomas on assignment, Todd Robbins, Kate Robbins, and happy to have you a part of this one. Opportunity there for Reddy is wide of the back line on the kill attempt. Ball back to Leominster, and a 2-1 here. Second set, Leominster with the 1-set advantage.
Now we're getting some Blue Devil fans on.
I was going to say, they'd have to respond, right?
You gotta.
Audette with the attempt to dig that one out, but it is an ace for Meza. Meza pushes this one on, and Stanton has to turn around and avoid it as it will catch the net. So Leominster, Kate, we had talked about their success on the service line against Hudson.
Yep.
Really kept them in the match. Right now, their struggles at the service line extended that first set and is now causing some issues here in set number 2.
Yeah, they're struggling to find a rhythm right now.
That was Sanchez, tried the kill attempt, kept alive. Now the tap on, Wynn popped it up, but yes, indeed, into the net. Allie Hood caught the net on her follow through. And Kate, for our fans joining us that maybe aren't as familiar with volleyball, it's not a problem if the ball catches the net as long as it clears it over the net.
Yep,
but you cannot.
Darn right.
Broomfield, a little spin on that one, right to the back line and ready.
That came like a missile.
Indeed it did. 5-2.
I remember a few of my volleyball colleagues starting this far back, but she is like in center field back there getting wound up. And
you can see it's a low flying missile as it comes over the net. It's popped back up long of the line. That was Calgren, ships it wide. And Leominster's lead expands to 6-2 as Angelina Broomfield has settled things down on service, which is something Leominster desperately needed here in the early goings of the second set.
Usually a defensive specialist, but really on offense right now for the Blue Devils.
Indeed. Blocked back by Perez Soto.
Wow. That's probably the best block that we've seen from the Blue Devils all year long. Nguyen has been exceptional, but that was an exceptional. Who was that?
That was Ashley Perez Soto, the senior here in the front right row. Here comes Broomfield again, looking back line. And it's long of the line. So point and possession goes back to the Panthers, and they are chasing 4.
There we go, nice block. That's right, good job, guys, on Facebook. Now you're getting it, the comment section. We'll teach you. We're both educators. We'll get you going.
I love when they start to have debate back and forth.
I love it.
That's one of my personal
favorites. As long
favorites.
as they're nice to each other, we're fine.
Win, Perez Soto, gotta go over here, and the block. That was a striker, front right spot for the Panthers.
And again, that play proximal to the net has been Leominster's bugaboo all year long. It's not easy, though. That's a tough area.
Hood slipped a little bit as she launched the ball, and then as she was kind of trying to go back and find it, lost her balance. Ends up ripping it wide of the line. 8-4 here in the second set as Perez Soto steps back. Popped up there by Sequeira.
Oof.
And a little miscue there, Kate, you had alluded to it. Sequeira tried to battle back in. Calgren was trying to slide over.
I will say, when you get into that area of the net, you really do feel like a fish in the water, in a net. You get tangled up.
It's Kaylee Hood playing that back line as the libero in the white jersey for the Panthers. The lefty Amosa clears the net and finds the middle of the floor with the kill. Pushes Leominster's lead to 6 as Perez Soto goes to the back line. Looking for the 4th straight point. Hood keeps it alive. Wynn got the opportunity. It was saved low to the floor by Calgren. Point continues.
Interesting volley.
This one's got to go over. That was a low hacky sack type of exchange. Outside, Meza. And then the kill opportunity for Calgren. Angled just wide of the line to the left.
Yep, and I was wondering, perfect time, I think, for Ayer Shirley to take a timeout, stop the bleeding here. This is one of those things, and I know that we equate this quite a bit to football, but I don't really see, anything better to equate it to. But this is kind of like when you ice the kicker, when you take that timeout to try to ice the kicker, make them think about it. If you have somebody that's hot on service, the best thing to do is take that timeout, try to kind of ice them. Not necessarily that they're thinking about it, but everything is it's so physical and so mental when you get into that groove. You're not thinking about it. It's okay, get the ball, you go through your Nomar Garcia Parra batting glove,
ritual of sorts.
Your Velcro. And everybody, when you see the servers, you're going to see every single one does the same thing every single time. You get into that rhythm. When there's a timeout, there's that mental break or that mental lapse. And now the hope is that you go back here and then there's an unforced error. And more often than not, you do see that at the high school level. It's going to be very interesting to see how effective this timeout was because, like you said, right now, Leominster's advantage is growing.
Perez Soto looking for about her 5th point on the exchange. Back line, popped up by Audette. Calgren's got to swing it over. Wynn sets in the middle of the floor. Sanchez for the kill with the block on the front row by Ostreicher. Leominster was able to clear it back over. Kill opportunity and found on the back line by Sequeira.
That was a nice volley by Ayer Shirley. The Panthers right there doing a really nice job finding the empty space. Getting the serve back, able to break that serve.
Seen a couple of exchanges here, Kate, for Perez Soto with Michelle Valencia Cardona. Some of her first action that we've seen here on RFM. She's back row right at the moment. Calgren comes right at her. Wynn for a Sanchez kill attempt. Kept alive by Ostreicher. Front row popped up and cleared for Sequeira. And the kill for Wynn. Splits the back row.
You give her that opportunity, she will make you pay for that. She is a force to be reckoned with, especially when she's in the front row. She is an exceptional setter and obviously blocker. And when she needs to, she can be an outside hitter.
Senior Hannah Collier lays it in front. Calgren had to drop back from the front row to the middle of the floor and try to re-angle herself for the kill opportunity there and not able to do it. Catches the net. Collier comes over. Popped up by Hood. Middle of the floor, it's Calgren with the kill. Dug out by Broomfield. Amosa sends it back over. Calgren again looks middle of the floor. Punched on by Valencia Cardona. And under the net it goes, and the point belongs to the Panthers. Panthers with the substitution on the floor. 7-point game right now. Leominster with the control.
Nice back row play. Need a free ball here for Leominster. Not able to get it over.
Yeah, that was Valencia Cardona. Tried to swing it. And Kate, that's a hard demand on that back row when you're trying to use that bump and swing motion.
You gotta hoof it
from waist high.
Yep. You got to give it a lot of oomph, and you can't have it go sky high into the ceiling.
Calgren brings the rain with the high arcer. Dug out and wide of the line. Meza not able to set up a teammate.
And Ayer Shirley inching back.
Indeed they are, and this is kind of how it's been.
This has been their MO.
Natalie Calgren on service for the Panthers. Collier sends it right back over and scrambling back into the play. It was Calgren to keep it alive. Now Wynn. Ostreicher sets. Finish opportunity. Catches the back line with the kill. That was a beauty for Reddy.
That's probably the most authoritative hit or kill that we've seen come out of Ayer Shirley's side all evening long.
Good square to the net. She got above the ball, played the angle down to the floor. Calgren for Collier, popped up. Now Meza looks back line, wide of the line.
And they're within 3, yep, and absolutely a very apt and necessary timeout taken by Coach Antonetti for Leominster, because Leominster right now letting Ayer Shirley right back in this one. The Panthers have been exceptional, in my opinion, at kind of maintaining their composure. Even though you see the Leominster lead burgeon to about 8 or 9, keeping their composure, playing fundamental volleyball, and not trying to work outside of themselves. A lot of times in volleyball, because it's such a communication-laden sport, sometimes if you kind of try to do too much, it actually can detract quite a bit in the sport, because you have to understand what your job is on the floor, and it's such a cohesive, almost amoebic.
How it relates to the others
Right,
that are going on
everything
around
about
you.
it is so amoebic and communication heavy that if you try to work outside of yourself, it's more often than not going to be detrimental and going to make things even worse. And we're not seeing that out of Ayer Shirley. They continue to play their fundamentals. They're not trying to overdo it. And you're seeing them slowly but surely inch back into this game. And the lead right now for Leominster, only 3.
If you're enjoying this one, it's 2-for-1 volleyball week here on RFM. First of 2 between the Panthers and Blue Devils here on a Monday.
Wow,
right
they called
back
that
at
an
it.
ace.
They did call that an ace. It will go on the board for Calgren. Another opportunity for
Wow.
Panthers and Blue Devils coming up on Wednesday, 5:30, the first service of that match. And it will be right here on RFM as well.
That last ball was in the glare, so I'm not saying it wasn't in. Oh boy, here we
That
go.
one caught Broomfield high off the shoulder and just shy of our seating position
Ayer
here.
Shirley now, though, within 1 in this particular set.
And this is the closest that they've been in either set
You've got it.
from 0-0. Calgren on service, looks outside. This one's wide of the line,
That one I know was wide.
and it will go right back to Leominster.
Leominster needing 1 more rotation, I believe, before their number 1 server comes back.
And so Amosa, who served in set number 1,
Is not
is
serving
not going
now.
to serve here. They're going to bring Samantha Brady in, the junior, to go back on serve for her first service opportunity of the match.
Amosa, typically a front row specialist, so it makes sense.
Set from the front, swung over by Hood. Win with the set. Kill opportunity for Meza. Dug out by Hood. Kept alive. Now swung back over by O'Striker. Back row, it's Collier. Win with a tough angle, got it over.
Unreal.
Tapped on for Reddy. What an exchange! And Reddy finishes it.
Ayer Shirley still within 1.
Back on service goes Alicia Town. And catches the net. Ayer Shirley gets themselves just to the cusp and can't quite bring themselves over the top.
If you're Leominster and Coach Antonetti, you are hoping for an exceptional run on service for your number 1 server here in Nguyen.
Back line she goes, popped up, swung over. They tried the angle, not able to bring it. That was Town, working back row right.
Although that back row for Ayer Shirley was not successful that particular time, in the first set, they struggled mightily even to just defend the serve of Nguyen. So much improved already.
And Nguyen got a point and gave it right back. 2-point set number 2. Leominster already with the first set in their back pocket. Audette clipped the tape and got it over. Stanton barely kept it alive. Nguyen might have helped it along as well. And then Stanton with an opportunity to respond with a block. She
It was
had that little
almost a carry.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Almost.
had that
Very
little
close.
excuse me,
Yep.
keep it alive in the front row.
Well, when you clip the top of the net, all of your anticipation is just completely out of whack, and so it can be jarring when all of a sudden there's a ball in your lap.
Great dig there by Kaylee Hood. Back over to the other libero. This is Broomfield. And Stanton over. Reddy. Called long. Point to Leominster. Reddy was looking for the kill opportunity on the back line. And Leominster was actually sending the ball back.
I thought it was in as well.
I
But
would love to
I
see
see
the
the
animated replay
I
there.
see the glare though, so I'm not, and I would never question Kyle Westphal. So
Not from the chair, that's for
Nope.
sure.
not
Swung
happening.
back over. The nice double block kept alive by O'Striker. Now Sanchez not able to get high enough into the net.
Back and forth here. This one is a tightly knotted match here. Back and forth. No momentum really since the early going for either side.
And here comes Kai Reddy going back on service. She brings the hammer. It's nice to go with a little high
rainbow.
arcer here. Yeah,
It's just because you said it.
absolutely. Sanchez sent it on. Here's Calgren front row.
We got a net.
Caught the net.
Net infraction.
18-16, Ayer Shirley draws within 2, ready, still on serve. La Senior goes outside dart this time, Sanchez, then Wynn. Outside kill attempt finds the floor. It's Allie Hood. Ayer Shirley within 1 again. See if they can draw even. Third opportunity here of this second set. And once again, they give it right back. Kai ready. Service ends, point given back, possession back to Leominster. 19-17, Leominster can see the end of this second set potentially.
These few service errors on both sides have really been the difference maker.
Broomfield, who had a strong first service in this set, caught the fingertips and sent it right into the net. 1 point game yet again. This
Gotta win by 2.
Gotta win by 2, race to 25, gotta win by 2. Hood for Meza for the ace.
All tied up. Another timeout here by Coach Antonetti of Leominster. Once again, this is the first time Leominster has extinguished its lead in either of the first 2 sets. Could hear a pin drop in here.
I was going to say, as both teams go to their respective benches.
I always get worried about speaking. Then I remember, oh wait, that's what we're here for.
19 all here in set number 2. Leominster with the win in set number 1, as you can see on screen. And great to have you along with us. Todd Robbins, Kate Robbins, Bill Thomas on assignment. He'll be back with us for game 2 on Wednesday of this week, as he will, by the way, for football coming up on Friday night. Good news all around across the community.
Yeah.
For those of you that are tuning in, wondering with the status of the Leominster-Shrewsbury football game scheduled for Friday night. If everything continues to go as planned, we are told that game will continue as scheduled, as Leominster can return to team operations tomorrow. So it will be Leominster and Shrewsbury on schedule, 7 o'clock on Friday night.
From the confines of?
From the confines of the Central One Credit Union Stadium.
I knew.
It is going for
mouthful.
longest name, and that's not all of it, by the way.
Nope. I'm impressed you got that much, though.
Sanchez not able to respond. The ace goes for Hood.
First lead for Ayer Shirley in either set.
It's the John L. Adams Memorial Field at Central One Credit Union Stadium.
On the campus of
Shrewsbury High School. Indeed it is. That one clipped the tape, but ended up wide of the line, so the service opportunity for Hood ends, and we're knotted at 20.
Becky Audette, you're very welcome. We're happy to be here.
Perez Soto sends it back over the net, and it's an ace for her.
Leominster now up by 1 yet again on service. Interestingly here, we've seen in Perez Soto, she's kind of been the game saver for Leominster in these 2 sets so far.
Perez Soto goes back line, Win with the leap, and spike down to the middle of the floor. And now Coach Philibrown's going to spend the timeout with Leominster within 3 of closing out this second set and taking a 2-all match lead.
Very interesting here. Both coaching staffs here trying to play, trying to play a little bit of tactics, especially.
Little cat and mouse?
Yeah, honestly, yeah, a little bit of cat and mouse. I mean, you have a situation where Ayer Shirley able to tie and then go ahead by 1, and then all of a sudden Leominster gets Perez Soto back on service, and they start to click a little bit. You can't, obviously, you have no time or no room in the score to be able to let them come out to any kind of lead. So again, trying to ice Perez Soto are the coaching staff for Ayer Shirley, and just hope for an unforced error or poor back volley from Leominster. Any kind of lapse in judgment or the thought process is exactly what you wanted for Ayer Shirley to get that serve back.
Before this point continues, I'll just wrap up that promotion. So that football game, Friday night, 7 o'clock, Leominster at Shrewsbury as scheduled. We'll be over with our partners at WPKZ AM 1280, 105.3 FM, WPKZstream.com. Leominster TV will have the television coverage across Leominster, streaming as well at Leominster.tv. All new countdown to kickoff begins at 6:15 on Friday night. And Broomfield popped that one up, kept it alive. Nobody could get underneath it, Kate, as it caught one of these steel stanchions that hold up the roof here at Ayer Shirley.
And again,
then found the floor.
If that stanchion, if it hits and stays on your side, that is a live ball. So you need to have bodies splayed on the floor trying to go after that. You can't let that just fall harmlessly to the ground.
Over it goes. Amosa will bump it right to a striker. Tapped on and finished by Audette. And we're tied at 22.
And let's talk about how imperative that timeout by the coaching staff of Ayer Shirley was. All of a sudden, you're down by 2, and in a blink of an eye, it's back to tie ball game.
Here comes Ashley O'Striker. Sends it at Meza. Popped up by Wynn. Broomfield with the kill. Responded by O'Striker, but can't keep it inside the line. Leominster on top, 23-22. Point in possession goes their way. Josette Sanchez serving to close this one out. Race to 25, gotta win by 2. And Sanchez short of the mark. All knotted up at 23.
That's his heart. That's a tough feeling as a teammate to go in there and not able to get that over the net, keeping it a tie game. Right now, Ayer Shirley in the driver's seat.
And Natalie Calgren, the driver. Back row. Broomfield kept it alive. That's not going to make it. Ayer Shirley is on top for the first time today here in the second set now. 24-23.
Set point.
They can win this second set. No time like the present to be in the lead. Calgren rips. It's an ace, and Ayer Shirley responds.
Wow.
We've got a 1-all match.
We're going to extras.
Indeed. First time here on Rivalry Family Media.
We're both
We've
looking
gone
at each
beyond
other.
3
We're both
sets.
looking at each other. Goes, now what? We're going to extras, kid.
Indeed, we are 1-1 again, race to 5. Got to win 3 out of those 5. It'll be a race to 25 for the first 4 sets. And then in set number 5, should we get there, the COVID modification, there'll be a coin toss for service. Then the team who wins said service, okay, is trying to race to 15, got to win by 2 in that 5th and final deciding set. Should we get that far? But what an afternoon. I mean, Kate, I was not being in any form hyperbolous in that sense.
Hyperbolic?
Or hyperbolic in any way, shape, or form. Ayer Shirley, quite literally, had not led at any point in set number 1 or at any point in set number 2 until 24-23.
Fantastic stuff. I have to give my mid-match MVP on the Facebook Live comment section to Diane Philibrown, clearly related to the coaching staff of Allie Philibrown. So keep those messages coming. We love to hear from you guys. The more the merrier on the comments. And right now, my early running MVP, Diane Philibrown, on the Facebook Live feed. Keep it up. She's got at least 5 comments. I love it.
Absolutely. Well, I mean,
Keep
right
up
now,
the good work.
The Panther fans outnumbering the Blue Devil fans in the participation department. That is for certain. And there's Judy O'Striker who says woohoo Panthers as well. I love the responses going on. But did you notice for Leominster, the person trying to lead the charge, by the way, Superintendent of Schools Paula Deacon was the response for Go Blue Devils, and nice block during that exchange earlier. So that was
awesome.
I mean, if any Blue Devil fan is going to lead the response, that's where you would go, top of the food chain.
Might as well be top of the food chain.
Set number 1, an LHS win of 25-19. Set number 2, a comeback 25-23 win.
An interesting conversation going on. I'm actually going to zoom in a little bit here. Interesting conversation. And again, we've talked about the fact that Nguyen is clearly the veteran leader for Leominster's Blue Devil squad, and she has taken the opportunity while Coach Antonetti is talking to his team in between sets. I mean, if you want to have a volleyball conversation, Kyle Westcott is the person to do it. You have a math educator, Marlboro Public Schools. Is he at the high
Long-time
school?
volleyball official, yes.
Long-time volleyball official. So if anybody, and I remember he also used to coach at the softball in
Yep.
Mid-Wach as
That's
well.
how we certainly
if
got to
there's
know him.
anybody who knows and understands the nuances of the rules, he is the guy to be able to explain it to you. So
Well, and I'm
credit
impressed.
to her.
I was going to say, I'm impressed
Credit
with her
to her
for a
going to see him.
slightly different reasoning, not only for her current situation, but showing the interest, the initiative. It's not easy as a student athlete to
No.
talk to an official, and showing that kind of impetus. Perhaps one day, Kyle Westcott may get her a white shirt and a pair of navy blue slacks.
And
Give
so-
her a whistle.
Yeah. No, impressive, absolutely impressive. I know that as a student athlete, I would not have taken the initiative to go and have that type of a conversation with an official, especially, I mean, and everybody knows there are some officials that it's worth it to talk to
Some
about
of us
those
are
types
more
of things.
approachable than others.
Well, not just approachable, but even just knowledgeable about the nuances of the game. And he would be the type of an official that absolutely, if you have that resource here, you want to tap into that to be able to understand, okay, we keep having problems, we keep having bugaboos this season relative to our placement, especially in the front row. We've seen it time and time again. And to have the ability to go and talk to him, that's huge.
Calgren starts on service. Ayer Shirley first service lead here, and Stanton responds with a block and kill over the middle of the floor. Leominster out to a 1-0 lead yet again. I think what we just learned in the second set is not only is no lead safe,
No.
quite literally no lead matters in most
No, that's true.
circumstances. This is Wynn. Catches
That's
the
tough.
net.
That is tough. That's going to frustrate her something fierce because, again, you're given the basically the honor or the responsibility of being the first server, and she's struggling right now.
Audette popped up by Collier. Wynn, the back set. Stanton has to force it over. Audette responds. And the block called.
Nope.
But
into the
no,
net.
it was the net.
Leominster into the net, so Ayer Shirley
Oh, it was
gets
Leominster into
yep,
the net. I thought
Leominster into
Reddy
the
might
net.
have crossed the net there.
Nope.
Okay.
Leominster into the net.
And so Ayer Shirley claims their first early set lead at 2-1. Audette on serve. And right back off serve. Point to Leominster 2-all. Back and forth we go. Collier out, Sanchez back in. Felicia Meza, the senior, back to serve. Popped up by Calgren. Kept alive by Audette. Swung over this time. That's Isabella Russell seeing some of her first action tonight. Front row right. Popped over and right on the line.
And that's one of those difficult areas because obviously court awareness, she knew how close to the line that was going to be, and that's one of those 50-50 balls you kind of just
Take a chance, see what
take
happens.
a chance.
And Reddy's got an ace. Back on service. Brings the low angle. Got herself a point.
It's the largest lead for Ayer Shirley on the night.
Matches it. They, of course,
yeah,
winning
that's true.
25-23 in the second set. Back set again. Perez Soto was not quite ready for it. It was a nice thought by Wynn.
And that overhead set, first of all, is a, I mean, I couldn't do it, but that's not an easy maneuver. And then to have the ability to do an overhead set to behind you, if you're an outside hitter, you got to be ready for that because Nguyen has quite the tool kit at her disposal. She's a pretty impressive player, in my opinion.
Quintero tried to swing that one with the bump kind of coming straight over the top of her head, and she caught the net. So Leominster within 2 sends Angelina Broomfield back to the service line. Into the net. Back-to-back servers now for Leominster with the unforced error. And so that puts Allie Hood, the senior, on service for the Panthers. Dug out by Meza. Then Wynn. Sanchez punches it on, and it's wide of the line. Panthers now have eclipsed their largest lead. It's now 4. Hood with an ace.
Communication.
That was like one of those buckling curveballs you might see in softball. Didn't really know what to do with it. I saw the drop and the knees just buckled. You don't know what to do with it.
It's a knuckleball and it kind of floats. and it goes from being in your area to somebody else's, and then it's just a communication issue.
And that's an ace right to the back line.
Yep, timeout. Saw that coming.
Yeah, Coach John Antonetti sees the wheels coming off of this one in the third set, and he's decided to try to slow things down. He'll take the timeout. Good 60-second use here, 9-3, Ayer Shirley with the lead. And Kate, talk about how important that momentum was.
I was
of course,
thinking of the same thing.
You lose the first set, 25-19.
Yep.
You then go down again early in the second set.
Yeah.
You battle your way back, and it's being back and forth at points. You win in a really emotional fashion to get yourself to that 25-23 victory. At one point knotted at 23 in that second set. And now you come out and you build that into a 9-3 lead in the third set.
Well, that's been very interesting to see. Ayer Shirley really taking that momentum from when they had 22 points really in set number 2, and they've carried it in. And they've seemingly, I mean, obviously we're not seeing 11 straight or 12 straight points from them, but that's what it feels like. They really have. They're riding this wave. And they've amassed their largest lead of the night.
And Hood out of the timeout. Mimosa, and that's an ace.
Trouble's continuing right now for Leominster.
The timeout theory is not foolproof.
No, certainly
There's
not.
always going to be an exception that
certainly
proves
not.
the rule.
Absolutely.
Hood, pop by Meza, now win. Mimosa's got to go over. Not going to do it. That's 4 hits for Leominster. And Ayer Shirley's lead has exploded in the third set, 11-3. Teams knotted at 1 in the match. Back line from Hood. Perez Soto tries the kill. Long of the line.
And right now, Ayer Shirley, the beneficiary of all sorts of situations. Leominster struggling with their back row play, their communication, their front row play, and their outside hitting. Right now, Ayer Shirley is taking advantage of all of those.
Broomfield tried to cut the ace down, not able to do it. It's another ace for Allie Hood.
And somehow this team, Leominster, is going to have to figure out a way to be able to stop this momentum. And right now, it is a wave that has been too much to handle.
And another ace. And that one, Hood almost froze herself. She was on an approach to the line, and something caught her attention from her own bench. She turned her head as she was releasing the ball, recovered, and got herself an ace. Broomfield for a win. And not able to back out of the way in time. 15-3, Ayer Shirley dominating set number 3.
Now you can see the frustration really starting to boil over on Leominster's side of the net. They just got to work together, go back to fundamental volleyball.
Broomfield pushes it on. Foretti. Set up by Russell. Kill for Calgren is popped up. Net called
Leominster into the net.
against Leominster.
Like we said, it's literally every facet of the game right now. They're in quicksand, and every single time you have a good volley going, somebody's into the net. And you're having trouble on that back row. Some of the communication issues, you're having trouble on the front row. Leominster needs to just play some fundamental volleyball, get the ball back, and then chip away.
And another ace. What a service exchange here for Allie Hood. She's literally just sitting back there, just picking who is gonna be, got it, and targets and then delivers.
And the biggest thing is consistency. She's consistently getting it over the net. It's not anything, you know, it's not a laser beam, but it is going over every time.
And that one made it clear, but then is killed by Calgren in response. 15-point lead. Coach John Antonetti's got to spend another timeout. Leominster back on their heels right now and trying to recover.
And this is an interesting point from a coaching perspective. Obviously, if you're Ayer Shirley, you're loving this momentum, you're loving this lead, and you don't want it to stop. If you're Coach Antonetti, all of a sudden, and especially, I'm going to make a generalization. I know that I am. So, you know,
it's part of the job as an analyst.
Forgive me relative to the generalization, but especially at the high school level, especially in female sports, it's incredibly tied to your emotions. And when you have a situation where the entire team is deflated, you're riding that negative wave of emotions. And right now, Coach Antonetti needs to, take a situation that's not great. You notice his tactic. He's not yelling at anybody. A lot of times in young lady athletics, that's not something that they're going to necessarily respond to. You need to let them have that emotion, and you need to help them work their way out of it. That's all he can do right now. There's no, especially in 21st century, yelling, likely not going to get through to these young ladies. So just trying to facilitate getting out of the quicksand.
Hood's service continues. Sanchez played back over. Now Russell, Calgren for the kill. Popped on by Broomfield. This volley looks better. Sanchez now for Reddy. Here's Russell with the set and into the net. That was Quintero tried the kill, and she caught the net.
And there you saw Leominster again going back to their fundamentals. Nothing fancy. 3 hits, dig, set, spike, get the ball over.
And a third straight service.
And that I think has been their most glaring area of weakness tonight. They've not been able to get any type of momentum because their service has not been consistent all night. From everybody but Perez Soto, I will say she's been very consistent for Leominster.
Sanchez for Reddy. Quintero sends it back over. Broomfield skids out to keep it alive, but it doesn't clear the net. And that's the first point for Kaylee Hood, the libero, on serve. Second opportunity coming here. So from one Hood to the other. And a little do-over action there.
Yeah.
Chair official Westcott says, hang on a second. Broomfield went hard to the floor.
Yeah, she needs to come out. That's a hip right into the floor. So as you said, she was trying to change directions kind of at the last split second, and her leg came out from under her, and her hip just literally pile drived into the gym floor.
So Karina Perez will take her spot on the back line. Mimosa tries the kill. Wide. Ball and point to the Panthers.
For those parents that are looking, she did come off of the court on her own power. She's not crying. She's clearly not in exceptional amounts of pain, but she is uncomfortable.
Leominster trying to chip it up at the net. That's another point for Hood. 22-4. Ayer Shirley total domination here in the third set. Kaylee Hood trying to close it out. Sends it at Meza. Back set. Sanchez into the net. The lead is 23-4. Hood sends it over. She's got an ace.
And right now, if you're Leominster, more than likely, obviously, the writing is on the wall. This set is essentially gone. What you need to do is rebound from this one. You've got 2 more to go, potentially.
And a double touch for win ends the third set in completely dominant fashion. 25-4 Panthers in set number 3 to take a 2-1 lead through 3 sets here at the gym at Ayer Shirley High School.
Well, you're going to get your money's worth tonight. We're going to extras.
Bonus volleyball all around here inside the gym at Ayer Shirley. 3 sets in the books. Again, we've said right along all of the matches that we have done
and we knew
have ended in straight sets.
And I wanted to, I apologize for interrupting, but that's kind of how I roll with you. I'm married to you, so I have a free pass, I guess you could say. You can't even say anything
there
about
There are very few broadcasters that get away with it. I'll say that.
But I do. One of the things that you mentioned at the very top of the broadcast was how evenly matched it appeared Leominster and Ayer Shirley were going to be because of where they are in the standings relative to the pod. This is indicative of that. That last set was obviously a dominant set for Ayer Shirley, but overall, for the most part, we've been seeing fairly evenly matched overall. So it's going to be very interesting to see. The biggest thing, notice, Coach Antonetti letting the girls talk to one another, having the conversation. They're going to have to get themselves out of this funk that they're in.
Well, I wanted to pick up the point that you were talking about during the set a little bit, because it's not just a generalization from somebody that experienced it. I know when I was at a professional development for women's athletics and talking about the sport of women's athletics, it is distinctly different than male athletics, in case that's shocking for anybody to hear at this point in time. But one of the key differences is how women approach trying to work their way out of in these circumstances. When they are in a difficult circumstance, they're not looking to do it with one individual performance. It is not a sport of individual dominant performances. It is a team concept. If you, spend any time watching the difference between men's and women's basketball. Men's basketball is very much a mano a mano, I'm going to beat you on a one-on-one basis. Whereas if you watch women's basketball, it's 5 players working as an interwoven unit in order to set up an open shot and create a score. The same opportunity is going to apply here. They need that. I mean, we go to that cliche, right? Bump, set, spike on the floor. But for Leominster, in order for this to work,
they need to simplify it to
all
to
6
that.
pieces need to work together.
Correct.
In order for that to work. And they've got to do it.
Yep.
There isn't much that Coach Antonetti can say other than position them, give them some places, work on some fundamentals. But they're the ones that are going to have to individually and then cohesively as a unit decide that they're going to work together in order to make this happen.
And certainly. And one of the things, I mean, obviously as a coach, your job is to guide the ship clearly. So you're going to have some student athletes over there that respond differently in different situations. It's your job, much like we talk about in education, individualized instruction. It's the same thing in the coaching ranks as well. It's individualized coaching for what each individual student athlete is going to respond to. There are some female, student athletes that respond to yelling. It might be how they grew up. It might be what gets them fired up. I used to play when I was, in high school and in college. I played better when I was angry. And so I liked to be fired up by my coach. I liked there to be a little bit of yelling, but that's not always going to be the case. So like you said, it's individualized, but these girls need to come out here and they need to play as a single entity.
And here comes Wynn. Just thrilled to clear the net on the first service. Struggled in that third set in order to do it.
And that should feel good for her. This is the first real time that she's had this situation where she's gotten off to a good start early on here. So look for her to try to get some momentum going for the Blue Devils.
Slowing things down. Rips another one over the middle. It's kept alive by Quintero. Stanton with the dump through the double block.
And again, Nguyen should be taking just a little bit of a sigh of relief now. You've got a little bit going on, looking to get into a rhythm, help your team out, take on that role of the first serve.
And slowing the game down sends that one into the net. She had gotten the rhythm slowed down a little bit. You felt like maybe things were going a little too quick. Slowed things down, kept control. You've talked about this before on the broadcast, where you as the server have all the control over whether this game continues or not.
You got it. Free ball.
And over it goes off of Wynn. Slapped on there by Oestreicher. Meza with the kill. Got a little help from a deflection, but Leominster's got the ball back in a 3-1 lead here in set number 4, looking to draw even. Remember, it's a best of 5. If Leominster is able to tie here in the 4th set, we will go to a 15-point race in set number 5. And an ace for Meza opens her service opportunity here in the 4th set.
And again, Meza, I believe, was second serve in set numbers 2 and 3 as well, and she did not have many points coming her way. So
pushed on,
and
Leominster into the net again. Yeah, it's Stanton that they flag for catching from the center spot.
I'm not going to lie, especially as a young female. Well, I'm not a young female anymore. But
You
when
were
I,
at some
when
point
I
in
was
time.
a young female, I'm not going to lie. At times, the female anatomy does not help relative to getting caught in that net.
Indeed, it does not. Ball short of the net. Point to Ayer Shirley. They're within 1 again. Early goings of set number 4. This is Sabatino.
Beautiful Broomfield dig.
Yes.
Saved that.
Swung over and finds the floor, does Camila Quintero. We're all knotted at 4, 8 points into the 4th set. Ayer Shirley with the 2-1 match lead. Sabatino goes right at Meza. Back and forth, now Wynn. Sets up Sanchez for a kill opportunity. Not able to do it, sent back by Oestreicher. This one's gotta go over.
So many overhand passes.
Right back, here's the leap, and the kill attempt is
Leominster's in the net
in
again.
the net for Leominster. Wow, that should have gone back to Leominster as that kill attempt was long of the line.
So you have a situation here where clearly the blocks for Leominster, one or two of the young ladies is struggling with that straight vertical. They're kind of drifting into the net as they're going up for the block.
Sanchez sends it over. Striker sends it back for Hood, who rips looking for the back line, and this time is long and nobody's in any kind of a net. Ball will go back to Leominster with a point. All knotted at 5 here in the 4th set.
Mentioning it, good to see Broomfield back in action here. She had come out of set number 3.
And with authority gets herself an ace and shakes it off as she goes to the middle of the floor.
She's in a little bit of pain. You can see it. She's in a little bit of pain.
But she's got that competitive fire, Kate.
Oh, yeah.
You can see it kind of looking down over the top of the mask.
Got that little scowl. She's a gamer.
Here she comes again. Back line. 2 touches and fights the floor. Camila Quintero celebrates. I don't know how she got it over the net.
And that's a tough one because Leominster there, Broomfield had done everything right. And it's just one of those things. As soon as it nicks the top of the net, it's anybody's ball at that point.
6-all, and look out, Allie Hood's on the back line. And guess what? She's on the board with an ace. Now. I got a little enthusiastic. I'm used to any sport that I have ever called.
No.
If anything up there gets touched.
Nope.
Or anything anywhere. Buildings.
Nope.
Can't play anything off the deflection.
Guess what? There's
Welcome to volleyball.
no dead ball territory.
And Hood's got another ace. Sends it through the back line again.
Again, the only time that ball gets blown dead is that if it hits some type of physical barrier as it's going over the net, then it becomes a problem. As long as it stays on your side, you can play it off of a backboard, a roof, anything, ceiling.
Any old flat surface will do.
Yep.
Meza, kill attempt, thwarted. Through the block, into the net. That one called against,
Ayer Shirley.
Looked like Ayer Shirley, it looked like Quintero, the center of that front row.
People on the stream seem to be a little bit nervous. They've been quiet. Tight ball game. Tight match.
Perez Soto sends it over the net. Kept alive by Hood and over by O'Striker. Wynn tried the dump, still kept alive. Swung back, punched on by Broomfield. Now Wynn for Sanchez.
The number of bruises that girl's gonna have.
And over again, what a response. And then back on the block. Perez Soto keeps it alive. Opportunity for the kill, and it's wide of the line. Amosa with a kill attempt. What a volley in exchange, and just wide of the line. 9-7, Ayer Shirley with the lead. 2-1 lead in the match here in the 4th set.
If you were looking for lethargic volleyball, you came to the wrong place.
Absolutely. First of 2-for-1 volleyball week here on RFM. 2-for-1, Leominster and Ayer Shirley. First one here tonight at the gym at Ayer Shirley. Next one coming up on Wednesday, gym at Leominster High School. 5:30 first service on that one. We'll be on the air just before that, about 5:15, 5:20. Bill Thomas will be back with us as well, the full
Whenever
team
Todd
present.
feels like.
Absolutely. Oh, whenever we get set up, JV match, all that good stuff as well. This one into the net for Collier. Point and possession. Back to the Panthers.
No, we got. Moving some personnel yet again.
And Quintero sends it over. Finds Collier. Pushed on by Wynn to the outside. And Meza not able to clear the tape.
And again, Leominster needing to compose itself here. The lead for Ayer Shirley is minimal right now. Momentum can swing at a moment's notice.
To the back row, this is Perez with her first touch of a ball today.
Free ball.
And Wynn right over the head. That was Audette. Sent it into the front row. There was a little collision up front. It was Sabatino bumped into Calgren. And the point and possession goes back to Leominster.
We see Amosa setting up to serve yet again. We haven't seen that since the first set.
Yes, I served in set number 1, didn't in 2 and 3, and right back it goes. 12-9. Leominster is going to be chasing 3, and an opportunity here for the Panthers to expand that lead. teams with those near even records coming into today. Leominster was 1-3 overall. Panthers were 1-2 overall. Leominster is split with Monty in their first 2 games and then got swept by Hudson in their second 2 games. Meanwhile, for Ayer Shirley, it was 2 losses to Groton Dunstable and a win over Monty coming into today.
Ayer Shirley's bench is fired up.
And they have been since they took that 25-23 victory in the second set.
Oh.
And the tape benefits Calgren.
Nothing you can really do there.
That becomes an ace for our tennis friends. No, there are no lets in volleyball. As long as it clears the tape and lands on the other side of the floor, it's a point. Calgren right at Perez. Out of play.
The lead expanding.
And Coach John Antonetti will spend the timeout at 15-9 Panthers and a 2-1 match lead.
This has been an impressive showing after the first set by Ayer Shirley to rebound in the way that we have seen them do. And right now, Coach Antonetti and Leominster just trying to slow things down, for the Blue Devils right now. They have the ability. They won that first set. I feel like this is kind of akin to the week 1 matchup that we were not able to see when they went to Monty Tech.
Yes.
Leominster had gotten out to the early lead. They won the first set, not necessarily handily, but in comfortable fashion. I know you have the statistics there somewhere. Or not.
I don't. I was gonna say I don't have the game by game.
Oh, okay.
It was a 3-0.
But I do know Leominster.
They did take the first set.
They took the first set against Monty Tech in their first game of the season, and then Monty Tech came roaring back.
Although I'm going to correct both of us here. Groupthink mentality has something to do with it. There was a 3-0-3-0 exchange. I believe they were leading in that first set significantly, and Monty Tech came all the way back and overtook them, similar to what we saw in the second set of this one. And it's an ace for Calgren.
Leominster clearly and outwardly frustrated. See,
thwarted
going over
by the curtain.
Look at that.
And the ball
on a
will
serve,
go back.
On a serve,
Yes.
it can't hit anything, obviously.
Other than the net.
Other than the net.
So
We're
here
back
goes
to first serve.
Here goes first server, Shayla Wynn. This, Kate, feels like do or die here
Yep.
in this first set.
The same exact
Or
thought
in
that
this
I had.
fourth set, excuse me. For this first server, and
She's struggled all day. And you know what? Let's talk about that. She clearly, as one of the leaders on this team, puts a lot of pressure on herself. Okay, she is a tremendous blocker. She is a tremendous leader on that floor. She's a tremendous setter. And right today, she just doesn't really have it on
back set
service.
for Meza. Wide of the line, called long.
And so it's one of those things where, and it's easier said than done. As a student athlete, you're asking her, listen, you're doing a lot of things well. Don't get down on yourself. But again, it's so hard, especially at the interscholastic athletic.
My Ashley Perez Soto has seen enough. She killed that one in the middle of the floor. Had enough of this. You can see her fired up out there on the floor. There's going to be some adjustments in personnel. Keep the rotation in place. Sanchez to the front left. Felicia Meza, the senior, to the back row. Second server and into the net again. And Wynn is going to get subbed out for the first time today. The freshman, Abby Muller, is going to enter the game.
I think she's having some trouble under her mask because she's been off to the side on her own. Hopefully she's okay.
Yeah, she did leave the gym in a little bit of a hurried fashion. Keep an eye out on that here in the fourth set. This was Sabatino. Caught the side of her hand.
Leominster still in this set. They can go on a run here, especially with Broomfield back to serve. She has an epically laser-esque serve, and if she gets into a groove, look out.
Here she comes, sends that one to the back line for Calgren. The battle of the blocks. It's won by Amosa. Oh, excuse me, no. It looked like it came under the net to Leominster's side. That was won there by Quintero. Came down on Leominster's side of the net. And it's Allie Hood.
Oh, goodness.
Broomfield lays out to try to keep it alive. Talk about giving up the body.
She has been just an absolute gamer. Talk about grit. She's in a lot of pain. You can see every joint, her hips and her wrists, every joint is in pain. I can tell you that much right now, and she is just eking it out.
Muller sends it over for Hood. O'Striker. Calgren's kill attempt is wide of the line.
Leominster back on serve, and right now Perez Soto, in my estimation, correct me if I'm wrong, has been the most consistent server
today
for Leominster today.
Yeah, certainly. And she faces an uphill task. 8 points is what Leominster chases. Full layout there. Great attempt by Kaylee Hood. Not able to keep it in the box, but a great attempt from the middle of the floor with the libero. It's an ace for Perez Soto. Comes another. Takes a little something off of this one this time. Hood for O'Striker.
Free ball.
And then a swing over.
And there you
from
go. That's the
Quintero is
momentum.
long.
And again, Perez Soto was the one person was able to settle the service down for Leominster a few sets ago. And right now, she's 2 for 2. Things are settling. Leominster getting points, minimizing the lead.
And right back it goes to Ayer Shirley. 22-15. Leominster is going to need something miraculous here to make it to the 5th set. 22-15, Ayer Shirley, 2-1 lead in the match. Ayer Shirley looking to close it out. They'll send Ashley O'Striker to the back line.
The greatest name in volleyball.
And here she comes. Sent right back by Meza. For O'Striker. Quintero tries to swing it over, and into the net it swings.
Leominster stays alive.
Point possession, they've got it back. Sanchez will go to the back line, 22-16. Leominster looking uphill still. Sanchez popped it over. Touched on. Broomfield keeps it alive. A little scramble. That's 4 touches, and the ball will go back to Ayer Shirley.
Still some communications, especially in the back row for Leominster.
23-16. Ayer Shirley on top. Camilla Quintero to the back row.
And nothing Coach Antonetti can do but sit and watch and wait.
Broomfield from Muller, sends it over. Kill opportunity, and D'Alessandro seeing some of her first action, front row left.
And again, Leominster stays alive. Broomfield
Substitution
takes,
here
yep.
for the service. Samantha Brady
The
comes
libero
in.
now out, taking a seat for Leominster in Broomfield.
And Perez will play her spot on the floor, and Brady not so much.
That has been the Achilles heel for sure. If you had to pick out one thing, no consistent service up and down the roster today for Leominster. That has been a struggle.
D'Alessandro gets it over. Broomfield sends it right back. Nice touch on. It's wide of the line. It's a nice push over from Audette. Just couldn't keep it down on the line. 24-18. If Leominster cannot win consecutive points here, the next one that hits the floor that favors Ayer Shirley closes the match. That's Muller. Touched on by Audette to Broomfield. Now Meza. Stanton whiffs on it. To the floor it goes. And Ayer Shirley with a 25-18 win in set number 4 closes out the match.
And this is one of my favorite things.
Yeah, the
Everybody
new
waving.
tradition. Can't shake hands underneath the net. Go stand on the back line. Wave and say nice game to one another. Thanks pass to all the officials as well.
us.
Oh, thank you. That is very nice.
That was very
Indeed,
nice
much
from
appreciated.
Ayer Shirley. We'll see you all on Wednesday.
I was going to say, we're right back at it. It's 2-for-1 volleyball week. If you haven't heard, we've got this same matchup from the gym at Leominster High School, just about a half an hour up Route 2. We'll do this all over again on Wednesday.
It's going to be very interesting to see how both of these teams respond to this situation. That's kind of the beauty of having this home and home. You're only having to worry about that one opponent per week, and you have the opportunity. Coach Antonetti is going to be able to go back to the gym at Leominster High School tomorrow and kind of reset, rethink, re-game plan, and take a minute just to step back and then see what they can come up with for Wednesday. It's going to be very interesting. I'm very interested to see how Leominster responds because I really do feel like these two teams fairly evenly matched.
I was actually talking about the home and home today. I think it's a great idea. You know, this is one of those things, and you'll hear me say this ad nauseum for our regular viewers on RFM or on the K-Zone, listening in on the radio side as well. The reality is that there has been a lot of creative things that have come about in this COVID athletic protocol that we have seen obviously created. I think one of the very disappointing things that we would see is if the athletic community at the education-based level decides to just revert and go, hey,
all the way back.
COVID's over. We're going back to the way we used to do things.
I love the home and home.
I love the home and homes. I think it's
it.
a great new way to do things. Will it always work? No, but I think there are ways maybe you could build it into the schedule
in a fall,
in certain places.
In a fall indoor season like volleyball, it works no problem in my estimation, unless you have to have more than 2 games in a week. But for the most part, I think that this absolutely works. When you get to the spring, all bets are off.
No question. No.
Hello, Mother Nature.
I was going to say you just have to play whenever it's not raining.
But if you have an indoor season like a volleyball, like a basketball, the home and home, it's been ice hockey, so much fun to see.
Yeah, to see these teams match up twice in a week.
If you would do it in soccer or field hockey or lacrosse, again, outdoor sports, baseball, softball. The springtime gets so tricky because because of the weather, things get truncated. But in the fall, I'd love to see it.
I certainly would. So that's the challenge, I guess, we'll put out there to our friends in the local athletic leadership is to not revert all the way back to ideas from pre-COVID times. You are advancing the sport forward. You've done a great job being creative and creating new ways to keep athletics going. We encourage you to keep right on doing that. Use those ideas as we move forward.
To take a quick moment to thank Becky Audet for the kind words and Bob O'Stryker as well. And Diane Philibrown says she'll see us on Wednesday.
Well, we appreciate that. We'll look forward to seeing you all on Wednesday as well, as we have been happy to be here inside the gym at Ayer Shirley today.
This has been lovely.
It really has been. Great opportunity to be here. I was saying to Athletic Director Steve Kendall, the last time I was here was for a softball game I was officiating. I can't tell you when it was.
I've never been here.
But the field is, I guess, out this way. But
it
the building was shaped far differently. Yeah. It was right outside the building the last time I was here. There's been certainly some changes here, some lovely renovations that have been done here on this campus when the merger happened to bring Ayer and Shirley together for a regional high school. And
it's
absolutely
lovely.
Beautiful. And glad to be here. We thank Athletic Director Steve Kendall and the staff here at Ayer Shirley Regional High School for inviting us here today.
I want to make one note here relative to COVID protocol. As you're seeing the student athletes from Ayer Shirley break down, notice what they're also putting back together. So part of the COVID protocol in all school districts is very specific relative to lunchtime.
Yes.
And so in most cases, in most gymnasiums across Massachusetts, or probably across the country, you're seeing gymnasiums also be used as a convertible space for an additional lunchroom. And you're seeing the student athletes put back together the lunchroom for tomorrow for the rest of their peers. And so very interesting, 72 desks and tables need to be put back up, and a credit to these student athletes for helping out the custodial staff for putting this together. Not only are they breaking down their own equipment, but they're also putting the annex cafeteria back together for the rest of their classmates for tomorrow. So kudos to you ladies.
Great spatial awareness and of course, the checkerboard pattern that you see out there as well. Great to have you with us this afternoon here inside the gym at Ayer Shirley Regional High School. It's been a lot of fun to be here. Bill Thomas will be disappointed he missed it.
He will.
But he will look forward to seeing you all on Wednesday as well as part of the broadcast. Once again today, Ayer Shirley, a winner in 4 sets. Dropped the first one, Leominster winner in set number 1, 25-19, and then it's straight sets to victory for the Panthers, 25-23, 25-4, and 25-18 to win this match by a 3-1 score. We thank you all so very much for being a part of this broadcast today. If you are looking forward to joining us again on Wednesday,
we'll see you then.
Only thing you need to know is the slight time modification. The game on Wednesday will begin at 5:30 instead of the 5:15 start time today. But other than that, you will see us right back here. Facebook.com/Media Rivalry. Here on Facebook for that premiere coverage. Again, 5:30 will be on just before that, streaming here on Rivalry Family Media. For the JV coverage, I know there were some questions today. For the JV coverage, that's being done by the in-house huddle cams. And so that link is slightly different. You will also find that on the Midland Wachusett League site. That's the MALMA, MIAA.org. Want to make sure I got that right.
Midland Wachusett League, Massachusetts.
That's correct, Massachusetts. Go to the appropriate school. In this case, Leominster will be the home team on Wednesday. There will be a JV link. The varsity link will take you here, facebook.com/Media Rivalry for the live premieres coming up on Wednesday. And then, of course, if you want to see this game over again or any of the matches, games, studio shows, and more that you want to have the opportunity to see, you can get those available on YouTube. There are so many ways to be a part of our coverage here on Rivalry Family Media. Live game broadcast, facebook.com/Media Rivalry, or live studio shows as well. Then available on demand shortly thereafter. That tiny URL will take you there, tinyurl.com/Media Rivalry, or search it up, youtube.com. Everybody spends part of their day there, I feel like, in 2021. Search Rivalry Family Media, like, follow, and subscribe today. At either of those locations, when we go live or something's posted on demand to YouTube, you will get notified. And then, of course, for schedule updates and news all across the Central Mass and New England, and sometimes all across the United States, high school sports-wise, it's updates from Rivalry Family Media on Twitter @Media Rivalry for that information as well. Kate, an opportunity for some final words here today?
No, I'm just in earnest. An incredibly enjoyable day. Obviously, Ayer Shirley, the high school here, and athletic director Steve Kendall, incredibly gracious hosts. We thank them just over and over again for their hospitality. They were absolutely marvelous to work with, and so we thank them. That does not always happen in a lot of the places that we go. So very thankful for the hospitality. Absolutely loved it, and we're back to the home confines on Wednesday, and I'm looking forward to seeing how each of these teams respond.
We here at Rivalry Family Media always live by that. If you invite and we don't have a teaching responsibility, we'll do our level best to attend.
We'll do our best.
We certainly do appreciate that. Shirley, once again, a 3-1 match winner, winning straight sets from 2 through 4 after dropping set number 1 to Leominster here on day 1, a Monday, on this 2-for-1 coverage here on Rivalry Family Media. Join us again on Wednesday, Leominster and Ayer Shirley Panthers, right back here on facebook.com/Media Rivalry from the gym at Leominster High School. We're looking forward to having you back here with us for that. For Kate Robbins, I'm Todd Robbins, and the rest of the Rivalry Family Media family, we thank you so very much for being part of our family over the last couple of hours, and we look forward to hosting you again on Wednesday from the gym at Leominster High School. Until then, once again, so long, everybody.